You're It by Leonard J. Marcus, Eric J. McNulty, Joseph M. Henderson and Barry C. Dorn. Meta leaders align people around a shared mission and purpose. They understand systems, complexity, and adaptive capacity. In the hours after the Boston Marathon bombings in 2013, a strong response from community members, leaders, care providers, and medical personnel helped reduce the impact of the attack. People reacting to the bombings offered successful examples of real-world meta leadership. Their crisis responses ensured the survival of 264 injured people, though the explosions killed 3 spectators. Our research on the leadership response to the bombings exposed stirring examples of heroism, goodwill, discipline, humility, and trust. Many of these leaders had attended the National Preparedness Leadership Initiative at Harvard University, NPLI, an executive crisis leadership program, and others had attended its researchers' meta-leadership seminars. Even though no one acted as an operational leader overseeing the entire bombing response, leaders each reacted effectively by employing swarm leadership. Each individual relied on the same consistent set of social cues and behaviors when making decisions and taking action. Meta denotes transforming, above, beyond, and at another level, and these leaders did that, reacting to the tragic event with an awareness of their broader, shared mission and purpose. Meta leadership has 3 dimensions. 1. The person, your emotional intelligence and your capacity to shape your response to a crisis. 2. The situation, your circumstances includes the environment and the context in which you lead. 2. Leaders take action even in face of uncertainty. 3. Connectivity. Well-connected leaders engage people from all levels of their organizations and align their actions with the work of those outside their organizations. Meta leaders must understand the 3 facets of complex, adaptive systems. 1. Systems. A system is a collection of interconnected events, people, and other factors that affect one another. 2. Complexity. Several varied interactions make up a system, often with unclear cause and effect. 3. Adaptive capacity. People and organizations with adaptive capacity are able to change in response to shifting conditions and situations. Transformative leaders discern patterns, and they use that information to forge new patterns and a new order. They have a broad, holistic view of a problem, and an ability to forge solutions to complex problems by linking and leveraging motivations, resources, knowledge, and capacity across the system. Order and disorder exist on a continuum. Too much order hinders adaptability, which is the ability to engage with complexity and ambiguity creatively. Chaos has its own function, as does order, and leaders sometimes strategically inject disorder to challenge orthodoxies and stimulate innovation and curiosity. The transformative leader finds patterns in a situation and then takes action to generate new patterns, initiating a fresh and different order. Meta leaders must find an equilibrium between asserting and relinquishing control, understanding that if they control others too much, they risk creating resistance and pushback. They navigate through what is known and unknown in a given situation. They amplify factors that further their mission and mitigate the impact of factors that detract from it, while engaging those who aren't yet working with or against them. Meta leaders integrate multiple components such that a new system emerges with beneficial qualities not possessed by any of the individual components. Identify cognitive biases and vigilantly overcome them. People viewing the same problem from their differing individual perspectives will have conflicting beliefs and opinions about the situation and its solution. Successful meta leaders validate these various perspectives and integrate them into a broader narrative of the situation. They help those with diverse vantage points understand the complexity of a problem and align with a common purpose. Understanding your perspective and those of other people requires grappling with cognitive bias. When the brain processes a slew of new information, it searches for easy explanations, which it filters through deeply embedded attitudes, beliefs, and thought patterns. Cognitive bias makes people see things as they expect them to be, not as they actually are. Try to recognize cognitive bias in yourself and help others recognize it themselves. Cognitive biases put enormously powerful and sometimes overwhelming constraints on your thinking and your leadership. People often presume they control how their brains process information, and that they can anticipate future actions and events. While people don't have as much conscious control over their brains as most assume, you can train your mind to be sharper, and you can develop broader and clearer perception. Alternate between expanding and narrowing your focus on a situation to find solutions that match the complexity of the problem. Don't lead only with authority, lead with influence. Meta leaders don't rely solely on their hierarchical authority within their organizations to accomplish goals. They rely on their influence as well. While other people can give you authority, influence is something you cultivate with them. People will be open to your influence when they derive personal meaning and purpose through aligning with you. The deepest and most genuine followership arises when people choose freely to be with you, whether or not you have authority over them. Leading via influence, beyond authority, is a form of soft power. People find others influential when they share values and commitments, and feel some degree of loyalty, trust, and respect for them. Become an influential leader by monitoring your behavior, revising and adapting it to ensure you embody positive values, such as generosity, open-mindedness, honesty, and accountability. Embrace the meta leadership framework and become an influential leader by being more present, by developing a broader, clearer perception about the dynamic nature of leaders, situations, and connectivity. Harness the 3 dimensions of meta leadership. Become a transformative leader by harnessing the 3 dimensions of meta leadership. 1. Person. Gain self-awareness, and cultivate a deep understanding of yourself and the character you project to others through your actions. 2. Identify your motivations, your patterns, how you balance instinct and intellect, and how your values, experiences, and ambitions fuel your aspirations and passions. 3. Familiarize yourself with how your brain works, and be aware when you're in a state of stress, which can activate your amygdala's survival circuit and prompt you to fight, flee, or freeze. 4. Avoid negotiating, leading, or making big decisions in this state of mind. 4. Develop calming techniques to shift your and other people's thinking. 5. Cultivate emotional intelligence by practicing self-awareness, empathy, and self-regulation, and by bolstering your motivation and social skills. 6. Situation. Strive to perceive, respond appropriately to, and understand the nuances of situations you navigate. 6. Understand that life is complex. 6. You will need to pivot multiple times as you adapt to changing circumstances with evolving contingencies. 7. Connectivity. Your success depends on that of other people, so amplify your impact by identifying and working toward common goals. 8. Strive to integrate the interests of diverse stakeholders, your subordinates and those you report to, and link and leverage their efforts and resources to achieve the shared mission. Led down, up, across, and beyond your organization. Effective leaders don't merely lead down to subordinates. They also lead in these ways. 1. Leading up. You can lead your boss by helping him or her better understand the situation, set priorities, and make recommendations for critical decisions. 2. Leading across. Collaborate with colleagues across your organization and outside your direct silo or hierarchy. 2. This will help you overcome rivalries and find alignment. 3. Leading beyond. To influence and align yourself with those outside your organization, grasp the broader situation, including what motivates those stakeholders, and extend your influence beyond the authority of your job title by identifying shared goals that none of you can accomplish separately. Build collaboration by resolving conflict and negotiating differences with the Walk in the Woods framework. To coordinate the actions of a diverse group of stakeholders into a unified effort, you will need to resolve conflicts and negotiate differences. This entails identifying individual motives, finding areas of alignment, and engaging in imaginative thinking together to overcome differences to achieve your desired outcomes. Meta leaders coordinate a wide cast of characters into cohesive effort, no easy feat. Negotiate differences using the 4 steps of the Walk in the Woods framework. 1. Each party states his or her self-interests. 2. Each party looks for areas of agreement and disagreement. 2. Consistently, they discover they agree more than disagree. 3. The parties think creatively to concoct new possibilities and ideas about how to overcome their differences. 4. The parties identify their aligned interests, having come to a mutually beneficial solution through collaboration, bargaining, and negotiation. Pivot during a crisis by understanding your brain. To respond effectively to a crisis of any level, whether it's a major one affecting many people's lives, or a personal one, such as a divorce, you must overcome your instinctual stress response and pivot to your higher analytic and reasoned thinking. Train yourself to know when the amygdala in your brain has hijacked your rational thinking. Pivot out of this stressful mindset by using a personal trigger script through which you can assert practiced intentional activity, such as taking deep breaths or counting to 10. By definition, a crisis is a pivot point. It often pivots toward the worse, of course, though it can also pivot toward improvement. Meta leaders pivot by detecting patterns and gauging their situation. They use the steps of the POP-DOC loop: perceive, orient, predict, decide, operationalize, and communicate. 1. Perceive. Gather data to form an initial picture of the situation. 2. Orient. Detect patterns and gaps in the data. 2. Discern their meaning. 2. Be alert for cognitive biases. 3. Predict. Identify what's most likely to occur next by analyzing the patterns you've identified and assign probability to each. 4. Decide. Based on your predictions, choose a plan of action and the decisions required by it. 5. Operationalize. Make sure you have the necessary resources to carry out your decisions. 6. Communicate. Share information with relevant stakeholders. 6. Repeat these steps continuously to manage the dynamic, complex problems and find sustainable solutions. Meta leaders cultivate resilience across their networks and nurture connections with those who share their passion. Meta leaders work with time to synchronize the efforts of different people, managing their expectations and actions as they deliver results. Skilled leaders distinguish between actions truly requiring urgency and those that can be taken more slowly. In crisis planning, you have time to examine contingencies, train people, and develop protocols. When a crisis hits, time is suddenly scarce. You must act. Catalyze speed drawing upon your planning and protocols. Determine your priorities. Identify what you can hold off doing until later and where you need to take immediate action. Human beings are naturally resilient. It is an inborn coping and survival skill. Meta leaders strive for balance during uncertainty, keeping engagement high as they unify diverse efforts over time. Resilience builds over time and through experience. Learning and change don't occur instantaneously. Modeling competence and confidence, they amplify resilience across their networks, shifting people from stress to calm assurance. Meta leadership can be lonely, so build connections with your peers and those who have similar passions and motivations. Look for trustworthy, fair people who faced similar challenges and can offer honest advice. Meta leadership illuminates your mission and sense of purpose. Find it and thrive within and beyond it. Imagine the world you'd like to live in, and align yourself with others who share your vision. Mesh your efforts to shape the situation together. Reach out to those with different perspectives, extending the scope of your influence and leadership. Meta leaders accomplish more because they understand systems as a whole, and grasp the ways people, emotion, and events affect one another. Embrace lifelong learning as you work toward achieving your full potential as a meta leader. Takeaways. 1. Meta leaders align people around a shared mission and purpose. 1. They understand systems, complexity, and adaptive capacity. 2. Identify cognitive biases and vigilantly overcome them. 3. Don't lead only with authority, lead with influence. 4. Harness the 3 dimensions of meta leadership. 5. Lead down, up, across, and beyond your organization. 6. Build collaboration by resolving conflict and negotiating differences with the walk in the woods framework. 7. Pivot during a crisis by understanding your brain. 8. Meta leaders spread resilience across their networks and nurture connections with those who share their passion. Please like, share, and subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching.